So today's passage is from Falmouth down to Plymouth. I'd rather get as far as Dartmouth, but I don't think we're going to have enough daylight to do that, and there are thunderstorms moving in later on today, so we'll have to see how far we get. But looks like the weather is going to be nice. It should be southerly winds, but again we shall see. I haven't actually looked at the Met Office forecast yet. It's not quite 6 AM. I'll be looking at that shortly. We'll see how accurate they are in comparison to predict wind, I guess, today. Anyway, the longer term plan is to be down in Brixam for the Pirate Festival this coming weekend. It's a bank holiday weekend. And have some fancy dress shenanigans. Hoping that the weather will be kind and the wind will come from the right directions so that we can anchor there, but we shall have to see. Well, conditions are slightly different once you get out of the harbour. Wind is from the southeast-ish, and well, what we call the sea state, not medium, I guess. Waves are about half a metre, occasionally a metre. Sun shining. We're cracking along at 6.5, 7.5 knots. If I can keep this speed up all day, we will be able to get to Dartmouth and shelter up the river there from the thunderstorms. If not, make another choice. But right now, roughly 10 hours to Dartmouth, which means we'll be there, well, should be anchored for dinner, which would be nice. Do with the wind shifting a little bit closer to south. I'm hoping the weather stays like this all day, actually. It'd be awesome.
There are currently no gale warnings in place for sea areas Portland, Plymouth, Lundy, Fastnet, nor Seoul. And now the inshore forecast issued by the Met Office at 0500 UTC on Wednesday the 1st of May 2024. Inshore waters forecast valid to 12 miles offshore for the period 0600 UTC Wednesday the 1st of May to 0600 UTC Thursday the 2nd of May 2024. Line breaches to Land's End, including the Isles of Scilly, 24-hour forecast, southerly or southeasterly, 2 to 4, becoming variable 3 or less, then westerly or northwesterly 3 to 5 later. Slight or moderate, occasionally smooth inland bay. Rain or showers, perhaps thundery later. Moderate or good, occasionally poor.
Well, there you have it. That's the Met Office forecast. Right now it's correct. Southeasterly, southerly, up to 20 knots in the gusts, so well within the range of what they're saying, although it's dropped at the moment. Yeah, we're getting 10 knots of wind from the south, which is not great. Speed is dropped. Oh well, hopefully it picks up again. It might just be a localised effect because of the shower that we've just gone through. Shall have to see. "20 miles in 2 hours, 5 mile an hour average, nautical miles that is, which is perfect if we can keep that up, although the wind seems to be gradually dropping and we're slowing down a little. So if we can average 5 knots, I've got no problems making it to Dartmouth before it goes dark. Oh, and I was having a little snooze just before and woke up to 2 dolphins swimming along behind the boat, quite obviously wondering what the strange noises coming from me were. They were really camera shy as well, would not let me get them on camera. Every time I picked up a camera they disappeared. And there's the Eddiston Lighthouse again. From the opposite side this time. If you're wondering why I'm motoring, the wind has backed round more to the east, so it's coming too much on the nose. So I'm motor sailing for a little bit because the speed had dropped too low. I would have been arriving in Dartmouth at like 11, 12 o'clock at night. So while I've got the tide going in the right direction, just gently motoring, keeping the speed up, building up a bit of a buffer in time so that I can switch the engine off in a bit, and it doesn't matter if I'm going a little bit slower. Problems of having deadlines to be somewhere, of course. Ideally I'd like to be there before the thunderstorms really kick off tonight, which means being there before 6 p.m. Don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be 7, 8, maybe 9, but that should be fine. 9 p.m. it's just going dark. There should still be enough light to be able to see, to anchor up on the river. I don't really like going up rivers in the dark. Stems from a personal experience of going aground in soft mud, thankfully, but yeah, rivers in pitch black can be dodgy, to say the least. Nine and 3/4 hours in, and we're finally approaching Gammon Head, where we'll turn the corner and head past Start Point and into Dartmouth. Tide is literally just turning now, so not worrying about overfalls, despite the 1 to 2 metre Atlantic swell that's rolling through. It shouldn't be a problem. Wind has dropped and swung round, it's backed all the way, so it's right on the nose now. Not a great deal I can do about that. Motoring in at 5 knots, and fingers crossed we should be anchored by around 7 p.m. As you can see from the glassy water, the wind has gone. It's Gammon Head we're going past at the moment. Not far to go to Start Point. Great fun surfing down these waves. I know they're not huge, but still get a big kick from it. Especially when they're helping you against the foul tide. Away we go, heading down the River Dart. Got a 10-12 mile passage round to Brixam today for the Pirate Festival this weekend. Fancy dress obligatory, and looks like the wind is in our favour, so we should be running downwind once we get out of the Dart, and it's a glorious sunny day. Nice change. That's the anchorage just behind us. Cost £13.44 for the night, which is not too bad really, considering the marina prices at the moment are ridiculous in the UK. More than Airbnb, I would say, in most cases. Anyway, got to pay attention to where I'm going. Just having to give way for the chain ferry, which has a blue light on it, so they're obviously in a hurry. Don't worry about the collision alarm, I'm going to try and avoid the ferry. Just got to stay well clear at the back of it, because obviously the chains are higher in the water as it's going across. So right across onto the wrong side of the channel. Sorry about the collision alarm, can't be helped. Lots of things here I could potentially hit, and it's telling me I'm going to hit them all. These guys just decided to cross right in front of me and made me stop. How generous. Thanks guys. Cruise ship passengers more important than anything else. And stop and wait for the other ferry as well. Oh God, the other one's coming across. Full power! Well, that was an eventful start to the trip. Let's have the rest of it a little less eventful. That'd be nice. Okay, let's get ready to hoist. We'll be into wind once we come around this corner. Alright, now we're going past Shagstone, just outside the entrance to the Dart. And once we're clear of the hazards here, then we can turn and run directly downwind around the corner. Given the wind is currently averaging around 20 knots, I've only got the main up, as you can see. I'm doing 6 to 6.5 knots at the moment. I've only got 10 miles to do. I don't need to go any quicker than that. Of course, the great advantage of sailing without the Genoa is that it's really easy to see lobster pot markers because the sail's not in the way. The downside of running downwind with the main up, and not maybe just the Genoa, is that the wind vane doesn't work because it's sheltered from the wind. It's on the front of the mast behind the sail when you're going downwind. So at the moment it's reading 2 knots, which clearly is not right. Just looking at the waves from behind, I would say 15 to 20. And the fact that we're doing 7 knots with just the mainsail is quite telling, really. Could even be as much as 25 in the gusts. Sun is shining. It's a glorious day. My life is so hard. Final leg, just the little motor into Brixam. Bit of a weird one though. All the way here, wind from the southwest, and come around the corner and it's blasting through here from due west, which is not ideal. It's supposed to die down later, fingers crossed. Not sure about trying to get onto a mooring ball solo in 25 knots from due west. Not ideal, but I'll see what it's like when I get in there. Here we are, anchored just outside the cove. The mooring balls are a bit too close in for me to be able to go in solo in this wind and pick one up. It'd be taking too much of a risk, because I think there's only one, the furthest out, that looks like it's only good for me anyway. I have one neighbour who appears to be a sail training school, so I imagine they've probably just stopped for a break. I appear to have found myself in the middle of a race, or at least in the middle of the course for a race. Let's hope they're all good sailors. Okay, it's time to play the Met Office inshore forecast versus predict wind game. And let's have a look how we did. Unfortunately, I didn't record the predict wind forecast for the first part of that trip. So it's just the second part from Dartmouth to Brixam. And here I have my log. And the inshore forecast said west, southwest, 3 to 5, becoming variable 3 or less later. And that was 100% correct. Well done, Met Office. And predict wind said exactly the same. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to call that one a draw.
Today's a holiday. Chuck-a-nack-a-nack-a, 2-I-A, 2-I-A. Whoa, 2-I-A.